Sometime for trig equations you have to factor, and you really just need to recognize that. A big hint sometimes is you see a function more than once. For the example here, tangent squared x plus tangent x minus 2, the tangent's twice, and one's squared and one's not. So that's kind of a hint that you probably need to factor here, because we want to end up with just tangent x equals. And it's tough to do that if we have more than one tangent expression. So factoring is going to be helpful here. So we're solving over the intervals 0 to 360, not including 0, but including 360. That's what that interval notation means. And so tangent squared x plus tangent x minus 2 equals 0. This is a trinomial. I can convert it to x squared plus x minus 2 equals 0. A lot of students find it helpful to just think of tangent as x and then factor it like that. So let's see, that's going to be x plus 2 and x minus 1 equals 0 as far as the numbers that multiply to negative 2 and add to the positive 1. That's the coefficient of that x. And now when you have an expression that you factor set equal to 0, we know we have to set each factor equal to 0. So the x plus 2 equals 0. The x minus 1 equals 0. And you can separate that if you'd like. And then solve for x here. I got a minus 2. All right, so x equals negative 2. Here I have to add 1. X equals 1, and then I need to convert these back into tangents. So tangent x equals negative 2. Tangent x equals positive 1. And whether you're using x or theta, it's okay. So now we need to find the angle measurements here. Like, this is great. This is definitely part of the answer. But what we have here is a function and the ratio 2 over 1 or 1 over 1. You know, what we really want is the angles. We're solving for x, not for tangent x. And so we need to find angle x. And so we're doing, you know, arctangent of negative 2 to find x. You know, where is tangent negative 2? And on our calculators, that's the inverse of tangent. And so I'm going to let my calculator do that for me. That's the second tangent negative 2. And let's see what that gives us. Negative 63. I'm going to round to the nearest tenth here. So negative 63.4. And the problem, I'm sure, would specify that. So angle x equals negative 63.4. But again, we are solving from 0 to 360. So it might be more than one. And there usually are two answers. So tangent's negative 63.4. Tangent's negative 2. Negative 63.4, first of all, I could convert that to a positive angle simply by adding 360 to it. So let me add 360 to that. And 296.6. So instead of this, I'm gonna use 296.6 degrees because I like positive angles better. And that is in our fourth quadrant here. Which makes sense because tangent negative 2, tangent's negative in our fourth quadrant. So we're looking here, but we got our fourth quadrant angle because tangent's negative, negative 2 there. But where else is tangent negative? In the second quadrant. So what is the second quadrant angle that's equivalent to 296.6? Let's see. Now, I can find out that, you know, 360 minus this is the reference angle, 63.4, which we knew. And so I want to know what is that value in the second quadrant. Let's see, that would be, you know, what minus 180 is giving me 63.4. Because in the second quadrant, we know it's 180 minus your angle. So I'm looking at 180 minus theta is giving me 63.4. So I can subtract 180, and then I'd have to divide by that negative. So let's see, minus 180, and then divide by the negative 1 because I want that to be 116.6 degrees. And now I'm rounding, but again, I can verify these. Like I want to know where's tangent negative 2. Is tangent 296.6, and that should give me roughly negative 2, negative 1.9. And also tangent 116.6 is also negative 1. So, when you're given something like, when you get down to the point of tangent x equals negative 2, you're going to get two angle measurements, but it's very easy to check those angle measurements. So make sure to check your work. Then over here, I also have that tangent x equals 1, so I have to find where tangent is 1. And so second tangent 1, whoops, got a little bit too much there. Second tangent 1 is at 45 degrees. So tangent is 1 at 45 degrees, and it's positive. It's also positive in quadrant 3, so I need the quadrant 3 angle. That's a reference for 45, and I could just add 180 to that to get that value. So plus 180 is 225. A lot of times to find these other angles, you're adding 180, you're subtracting 180, and so on. But I want to put all this together. That angle x is 45 degrees. I'm going to go low to high. 116.6, 225 degrees, and 296.6. We got 4 total answers.